Thank you for being here. Welcome. My name is George Gibbs. I'm a board member of the San Francisco Vegetarian Society. Thank you for coming to our festival. And I'm here to introduce Patricia Koot,
Yes.
who is a nutritionist, graduate of Bowman College a few years ago.
Yeah.
And she and her husband Dave put on a weekly vegan meal at the Opera Plaza Community Room. We've been doing it for about 12 years.
Since 2004, but it wasn't always, yeah, whatever, a while.
And the food is delicious.
Thank you, George.
And today she's here to, she's been here in the past and done all kinds of things with pumpkins and
True.
all kinds of wonderful stuff. And she's going to introduce some of her great sauces to you today.
Thank
Enjoy.
you. Thank you, George. Thank you and welcome. I'm glad you could make it here today because I think you'll find this demonstration rewarding. I don't know what your expectations are, but you will be able to taste after leaving here, taste some of the best simple, nutritious, and easy to prepare at home sauces. Some of them may have uncommon names, but they're all foundational sauces. If you want to look at your little orange sheet as a reference, you can do that, or maybe you just want to close your eyes and just eat up all the goodness that'll be passed out after our first demo. As the wonderful Mr. George here already introduced, I'm Patricia. I'm a nutritionist, but I volunteer my time on behalf of a local nonprofit, Wellness Central, to present weekly vegan dinners, which I've been doing since 2004. So even though I'm not a chef, I'm just a home cook, but I cook intuitively, and that's what I hope to share with you today. So with that said, let's start with a wonderful, kind of a fancy little sounding name, the French onion fennel marmalade. First off, I would like to say I would really look forward to the day where I can go into a grocery store and I could pick up a jar of this stuff. It's that yummy. And it's transformational. I believe on my sheet I even mentioned you can use this on regular fare burgers, or you can, swank it up a bit with appetizers for a fancy dinner party. So with that said, let's look what we have. Most of this stuff you could probably find in your kitchen pantry, right? Who doesn't have an onion? You can get your little onions there. Fennel bulbs are readily pretty much available. When I speak of the fennel, I mean the bulb, not the seed in this instance. And also the balsamic vinegar, sweetener, and fennel seeds. That's just it. Just 5 ingredients or less, and you have a fantastic sauce. So how do we put this together? First, and it's not here in the directions, my favorite way of food prep, meaning cooking food prep, is a slow cooker. You can literally put almost any vegetable in there, from small pumpkins or hard squashes to even those fennel bulbs and onions. Just throw it all in there in that slow cooker, cover it up, and leave that kitchen and go do something you want to do. You don't want to be bound to the kitchen. Sometimes it's cathartic just to be in there and create, but most of the time I don't want to be in there. I just want the food to do its stuff, and I just need to step in and put it together. So when you're preparing the onion, the fennel, all the foods that I'm going to present to you today have been prepared ahead of time in a slow cooker because it preserves the moisture, the liquid that's naturally occurring in the vegetables. It also preserves the nutrition, which, why do we eat? Well, we eat for a lot of reasons, but it's nice if you get some benefit that's nutritional from it as well. So without further ado, let me get out this onion. So this is merely the slow-cooked onion that I've already chopped because you know what? When you go to a cooking demo, do you really want to hear the whir of all the equipment going on? No. And I'm not going to stand here and try and chop and get down here and chop on this. So yes, I've already chopped it for you, so it's just easy to enjoy and delight in at this moment. So here you have, and also regarding, I don't want to get all keyed up either when I prepare food. It's not rocket science. It's not even really science. It's just composing vegetables and flavors that are harmonious, for something tasty for you and your family and friends. So when I say here on your directions, I believe I noted it to 1 cup large onion. I think I put in, that doesn't really make sense because either you can use 1 large onion or 1 cup. But you know what I'm talking about. Just whatever kind of onion you want, because who wants a leftover onion in your fridge? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But when I cook, I want it cut, prepared, and done with. So I just usually will use whole foods as they come. So here's my onion prepared. And I prepared this using, like I say, I already pre-cooked it so it'll ease up on our cooking time here demonstrating for you today. So I'm just going to get out a little pot. These little pots are nice to have because they're just individual size. It doesn't take as much energy to heat. This is just a small little everyday pot, right? We all have our things that we like, and this is something you can really customize for you in your kitchen, is with a little small individualized pot. So there you go. I've added there my 1 onion, and then what else do we have going on here? Oh, the fennel. Fennel? How many of you guys cook with fennel, enjoy fennel? Couple? Oh, wow, fennel lovers unite, because it's a good digestive aid, right? It just makes your tummy happy, which makes you happy. And then, the old saying is, well, anyway, it's always nice to have whoever's cooking your food in a happy mood, right? It just helps. You don't want to be eating that angry food. So here I'm just going to add up, once again, just the bulb or two of the chopped fennel. Add that to the pot. Can you folks see what's going on in the mirror from up here? Probably not. Oh, well. And then I can't do anything about it. Oh, and kitchen towels. I'm a linen person. I love linens. I'm like a freak about them. You don't need to know that. But the reason I say that is whenever you prepare foods in your house, either you've got to have a lot of disposable paper towels, or you got to have a good supply of nice, large, clean linens like this one. I'm just going to demonstrate this. Get them big. Don't always get them tiny because then they're turned to scraps. So a nice, clean cotton towel, multi-purpose in the kitchen. So while these are warming up, let me see, what else do I have here? I have on my directions that you're going to want to add those to the pan. Oh, water saute. I'm saying water saute. All you folks know what water saute is? Anyone want an overview? For those who don't, let me just make it really easy for you. If you're not going to go for the preferred method that I prefer, using a slow cooker, water saute might just save your life, right? It can, because you're not including oils, which can turn rancid and burn, which therefore are not supportive of a healthy body, into your pot. So water saute kind of circumvents that oil quandary that a lot of us people living here face. So when you want to water saute, you merely add some water, pure water, into a pot, typically a saute pot with more surface area than a saucepan such as this. And you will want to add some water just to make certain the little liquid or the little veggies receive enough liquid to actually penetrate and more or less steam cook it. So it helps speed up the cooking process. That's what you mean by water saute. And so when you do that, you can often then achieve wonderful results that are health supporting as a result. So you just add a little bit of water saute till the desired doneness. Some people like their veggies nice and fresh and crisp, and some like them cooked till they're dead. I think my husband likes them cooked till they're dead. So he likes them nice and smushy. And so then what do? Oh, look, our veggies are ready. So let's add, this is such a wonderful combination. Let me see here. I also call for balsamic vinegar, and why not? Every kitchen should have some. Of course, there's the dark stuff, and here's the lighter stuff. It just depends what you like, right? If you want a dark marmalade, use the dark balsamic. Otherwise, the white one's here. So we're going to add that. I already pre-measured it. And once again, I just can't stress this enough. Really, all these recipes are to taste. You want to season them to your individual taste. And then let's talk about this. Sweetener, that can raise a lot of flakes for a lot of people. I don't use refined sugars. When I say refined, I use the chemicalized sugars that are out there in the market in my dinners. What I do like to use is whole fruits. And if I don't use whole fruits, I use the next best thing. This is whole organic apple. Put into this jar. I like to do local stuff whenever I can, but this is actually put out from a company in Italy, I guess. But it's good stuff, and a little bit goes a long way. It's like the vegan's answer to honey. It's just pure deliciousness. There's no salt, there's no nothing except pure organic apple. So I kind of pre-measured this. How much do I say in there? Anyone want to help me? I think I said 3 tablespoons. That sounds like an awful lot. I don't think there's 3 tablespoons in here. But we're just going to add this, at least, like I say, 2 tastes. Oh, that's a dreadful sound. Okay, so we'll just put that back out there. And then we add that, and then the magic starts to happen. Oh, before magic can happen, we need some crushed fennel seeds. This is kind of my philosophy as cooking as well. If I can't grow my own herbs, I want to buy them as whole as possible, right? So don't buy that powdered stuff, please, in any form. It just doesn't fresh. And if you've ever had fresh spice or herb as compared to stale, powdered stuff, you'll definitely realize the difference. So when I say crush, you can always put it in some sort of electric device and kind of crush it up. Or you can just take, as I did to crush this, a little glass jar like this, right? You just want to pound it and crush it. So you just want to add that. And I enjoy fennel, so I might have put a little bit more than the directions indicate. So what we do, we just add this. It's coming up to a nice, cook here. And I'm just going to let that cook. When it says cook it to almost all the liquids evaporated, that's exactly what it means. You don't want it bone dry because it's a marmalade. There should be some emulsion there, something to give us some body, and you're going to taste that. So if the folks would like to bring out the samples now, I think they're going to start bringing out the samples. There's a little bit of that marmalade on the side. And also, I welcome questions. Does anyone have any questions or want to know anything? Yes. The gentleman here in the second row.
The onions as well as the fennel, did you say that you cook it in the slow cooker?
I do.
Separately for 8 hours each? Or?
Lower than that. I cook it low and slow and long. But usually they cook like within 3 to 4 hours, maybe 3 top. And when I cook that onion, I cook it with the skin remaining, right? There's no reason not to, unless it's really, really dirty onion skin. But it just doesn't happen. So you want to cook it with that onion skin on. Once again, that will help enhance the flavors, the nutrition of your food, and there you have it. So yes.
And can you just store that separately for use? Is that what you do?
Yes. And I kind of am on a weekly cycle of food in and out, fresh food in and out. So for me, I know people like to play around with that stuff, but since I prepare food for large groups, I don't like to do it that way. So it's in and out. 1 week, I'm not going to question about it, life goes on. So I'm sure it's preserved, but yes. Does that answer your question? Yes, and the young man here?
I was a little bit late. I'm wondering, do you have any more recipes?
More recipes. Well, sheets.
Yeah, sheets.
Well, yes, I have my gentleman helper. And is there another? Okay, I guess here's some more sheets. And if there's anyone who doesn't get a sheet, if they can just let me know, either email me or stop by my table, we'll get you the recipes. Because you need the recipes as guidelines. I'm going to check on this. It's going pretty steamy. Kyle, can you tell the folks we're ready for folks to have the samples brought out?
Start bringing them out?
Yeah.
Pressing them out?
Please. Yes.
When you slow cook the onion, you just put the whole uncooked onion in the crock pot and
Yes.
put it on?
Yes. Just like with a hard squash, a kabocha squash, any sort of vegetable, it just goes in whole.
No water?
Nothing.
How long does it take for an onion?
I think it depends how soft you want them, but 2 to 3 hours maybe. But see, and I love using the slow cooker because I just throw everything in there. The celery, the onion, the carrot, the fennel.
Slice it up?
No! I mean, you just throw it. You throw it, put that lid in, and run out of that kitchen. Yes.
I put it on low.
Yeah, I like low. There's usually a couple of different settings, right? But I still prefer the lowest setting possible to cook up. That's just my style.
I'll try it.
All right, you'll have to let me know. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
You said no water at all? You don't put water in the slow cooker?
No, but since you're talking about, we'll get to this, but you see what this jar is? This jar is broth that came out of 5 pounds of potatoes cooked in the slow cooker. This is water from potatoes. Thank you. Thank you. I guess it gets a little crazy. Any more questions? All right, if there are no more questions, I'm going to carry on to the second recipe delight. And what you have presenting now is a fantastic Scandinavian cream sauce. What? Scandinavian? That's part of my heritage. 2 cream? Oh, you already got me right there. Cream. And then you can put it on anything. It's going to make anything taste better. So, Patricia, how can I make my Scandinavian cream sauce? Well, I'll show you. And you can have a dinner party in like 5 minutes at your house, and you'll be everyone's favorite host or hostess. So let's see here. What does it start? I even suggest using this cream sauce on pizza, right? You get your little pizza dough, your little vegan pizza dough. And you don't have to have red sauce pizza. You don't even have to have sauce. But of course, what you can do is maybe make a bed of roasted onions and fennel, lay down that marmalade even. And then you can top it with some of the Scandinavian cream sauce. And it will give you a kind of gooey, puffy, nice, cheesy, melty kind of consistency. So that's why I say put it on your pizza, put it on your veggies, put it even if you like pasta or rice. Oh, and also for those who might have gluten allergies, there is a peel-off, just a simple peel-off, a vehicle for displaying the sauces for you. That peel-off was made with brown rice, and if anyone can guess the second ingredient in that peel-off, it's a non-gluten ingredient, gets bragging rights. Anyone want to raise a hand? Want to guess what that second ingredient in that peel-off is? Anyone? Yes, sir. Or ma'am? Yes, she got it. I always scream that because sometimes people don't get just the simplest of ingredients. And it's oats. I love using oats in a non-sweet, a non-traditional manner because the oats are something that really satiate your appetite and they sit well with most people's tummies, right? And then secondly, you're getting all that wonderful fiber, so why not? Those are groats. Those are the ones that have been kind of halved, not completely whole. And they can be steamed just like any other grain, which is always a 2-to-1 ratio. 2 parts water or broth and 1 part grain. So it looks here, on this little cooktop here, it looks like we have more marmalade. So helpers, cooks, if the kitchen needs more marmalade, it's right here. Kyle? If anyone needs more marmalade, if the kitchen needs more marmalade for samples, I don't know if they do, but can you let them know it's out here? Thank you. So number 2, going back to number 2. Anyone have any questions? Any more comment? Any questions about the food? Comment? Did you guys taste that marmalade? Did you get enough to taste it? Is this something you could do at home or will do at home maybe? Sort of? Or just have a memory of it? It's always... Yeah, yes, someone over here. Yes, sir. No. Nothing has gluten in it this evening. Because I've learned after cooking for groups, everyone has something going on. And gluten's one of them. So I just more or less just eliminate it from cooking altogether so you folks can all enjoy it. Because really, why not? So back to my wonderful Scandinavian cream sauce. How do you make it, Patricia? Oh, I love this recipe already because it's like the easiest thing ever. You just measure, dump and mix, and it's all over. So what do we see here? I have you starting out with prepared mustard. Every kitchen should have mustard. I know there's people out there who say, I don't like mustard. But mustard is transformational in cooking. It can add an acid. It also provides a thickening power, and it's very healthy for you, right? I'm not using, the garden variety one. I'm using a little one that's usually referred to as a spicy brown mustard, to which I've measured more or less into this little baggie here. And then to that, I want to add a teaspoon of dill weed. In my directions, that's what I say, but you know what? I'm not going to add that dill weed now. You try saying that 3 times fast. So, the dill weed is nice and it's wonderful, but I don't want it all blended. I don't want the green tinge that the blender will add. So I'll put this over here to the side. Don't let me forget it. And then what else? Oh, that sweetener again. So let's just add a little bit of sweetness, a tablespoon. Once again, I'm just going to use this pure organic apple. There you go. I think that's about it. Easy. And also if you're going to, one thing I do want to mention is if you're going to use alternative sweeteners, what I have found that works best typically is I use a trio of alternative sweeteners. I don't rely on just one stevia or what have you, because if you do it, the flavor seems to dominate and often not in a good tasting way. So typically if you use at least 3 of them, they seem to be, they just make food taste better that way. So what else do I have? The teaspoon sweetener. Oh, Bragg's liquid aminos. there was actually a shortage of Bragg's liquid aminos. I'm sure it had something to do with the price of soybeans somewhere. Somebody didn't want to pay it, and so they didn't have Bragg's liquid aminos on the shelf. And I was like, what kind of world do we live in? But, now I have a little stockpile in my house because, can't run out of the Bragg's liquid aminos. It's a salt alternative. It's a nice, what do they refer to it as? An umami flavor of, I don't know how far I can go with this, so I'm just going to dump that there. And then with this little mic here. And then what else do we have? Ooh, the good part, the nut part. 1 cup of cashew or almonds, really any kind of nut you got laying around. The reason I like to use cashews is because they are creamier. And this is a cream sauce. So I wanted to pull out the cashews for you, but a little note before we proceed. In this demo, I have the cashew and a little bit of almond. What I've done is, and as one might want to do as well when you're cooking or preparing foods with nuts, you've all most likely, because you're an educated group, there's something called phytates that nuts naturally have so the little critters don't come up and eat them before you get to them. So it's always best to soak the little nuts or seeds, kind of sprout them, increase, you've heard, I'm sure, the enzymatic properties of them. It just makes it more digestible and more bioavailable nutrition for your body. So you get a happy tummy and happy body and mind because you've soaked and sprouted these little nuts. Ideally, you would also rinse them, but I have limited facilities here, so I just drain them, and I'm going to add them to your super blender here. And then what else? I think that just about wraps it up. Oh, water. Why not? You can use water or broth. I like water because it's clear. It's not going to color your sauce too much. This is a 12 ounce, and I say 8. I'm going to go a little light on the sauce because you can always thin it out, but it's always harder to thicken it up. So let's put it over here. I'm not familiar with this type of equipment, so let's hope for the best. Brace your ears. I don't know how loud these are. Oh, it's not so bad. So it's just going to blend up pretty thick, and as it heats up, it can even heat up in the blender, right? It will even thicken up in your blender. I'm just going to ramp it up. See what I mean? It's hard to talk over a blender. Try to make this easy. And then, I don't want to forget the all-important dill weed. Okay. There we go. Nice. So I think you folks might have tasted that sauce. I want to pour it into a jar I have up here. You can see the beautiful sunshiny kind of, or just a rich, creamy sauce, which you can eat freely in any manner that you prefer. For those of you who have tasted this cream sauce, you see what it looks like. And it's one of those sauces that's foundational. Like I say, you can either heat it up or eat it cool. Do any of you have any questions on the little sauce here, on this creamy Scandinavian sauce? Yes, sir.
Who's the apple sweetener? Where do you find that?
Probably most stores. And you know what? Even if you can't find it, you know what most stores do for you nowadays? They will order it for you.
Is that the packaging?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can take this one with you if you'd like, and then you can reference it, after the program. Did anyone else? You're welcome. Did anyone else have it? Yes, sir.
The Bragg's amino, what does it do?
You get it at almost literally, even your most basic common stores. Do you shop and live here in the city? All right. So most likely you walk into that store, they're going to have it for you. It's just in a little clear bottle, a little squeeze top little thing. They'll direct you to the right spot. And it's usually in the natural food section, or in broths or sections like that. Yes, sir?
What do you recommend besides substitute for the Bragg's?
Okay. So some folks don't want to use Bragg's for whatever reason. And that's a good point. Then you just need to go to what are you trying to achieve with the Bragg's. What I'm trying to achieve with the Bragg's is add an umami flavor and a saltiness flavor. You can use a kombu seaweed perhaps, a little bit of kombu seaweed and make a veggie broth, which would help with the saltiness as well as some of that umami flavor. Or, of course, you could always go back to plain old sea salt or whatever you like to use. Or you could amp up. You could use some celery. Once again, it'll take the place of some of that saltiness. It won't have the soy. It's a natural plant based.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you said it's good with pasta. And
Yes.
I'm wondering, when you mean it's good with it, would you use that as the primary sauce on the pasta?
You know,
How would you use it?
that's an excellent question because it was just the other day I was having a conversation with someone. And I like capellini, like little tiny pastas. I like little tiny pastas, and I like even less sauce because if it's well flavored, you just don't need much. So when you ask that question, maybe an orzo, which is a rice-shaped pasta, it's going to be a good fit for that because a little bit will go a long way, and then you could throw in some herbs, some of your favorite veggies, and it'll really highlight some of that. Did that answer your question? Yeah, I'll try that. You're welcome. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Did you say that this would, have you used this as a pizza sauce?
Yes.
And just as a substitute for the usual tomato thing?
Yeah, well, see, you know, it's a big world of pizza out there, right? It's not the same world I grew up in with just tomato sauce, man. It's a huge pizza world. So, like I say, make a base layer, perhaps of some roasted veggies, onion or fennel, and then you could put this sauce on top of it and really elevate the whole pizza experience. And if you're like me, I would add garlic raw to the whole thing. It'll make everything, garlic makes everything better in my world. So you're welcome. Anyone else? All right. Oh, wait, did I say had? No. Okay, now we're ready. We're in the home stretch. I'm glad you're here for this one. This is the Bolivian groundnut sauce. You know, groundnuts is another word for peanuts. And I developed my personal fondness of peanuts when I lived in Georgia for many of my younger years. And how many of you folks familiar with the Southeast United States here? All right, and so where did what? I saw this on the side of the road literally years ago. I thought, what in the world is that? It doesn't sound good, and I don't think I ever want to eat them. Boiled peanuts in a paper bag. Have any of you folks ever had boiled peanuts? Oh, not from the can. I mean the real ones that you would make. They have like a big old cauldron, and you get these boiled peanuts. Think of warm peanut butter. It's that good. You got to try them at home. So a little segue there, but why not a nice, satisfying peanut sauce? So yes, the Bolivians have it all wrapped up here. So let's talk Bolivian groundnut sauce. This is really more of a stew preparation of the sauce because I really believed it highlighted the flavors well. So let's start here. Oh, potatoes. As I mentioned at the start, I had 5 pounds of potatoes I prepared in the slow cooker, and it rendered broth. Oh, maybe not all this broth. I think the other broth came from the other veggies I prepared, the onion, the fennel. So you have a nice colored, nice stock broth. But to start with, let's start here with our little, can someone help me with dumping this? I'll need the bowl to mix with. Thank you, George. So I have here, what did I put? All of these measurements, I have to stress again, are just to taste, whatever you have. So I have 2 cups of potatoes prepared in the slow cooker. Or like I say, you can just follow the recipe and cook it all together. And then I have your red bell pepper. I love red bell peppers. They're sweet, they're red, they make everything happy, cheery, pretty. So why not use more red bell pepper in your food? But you know, the counterpoint to that, well, I'm going to skip here. Did I not put it on here? Oh, I guess do you guys have green bell pepper on your recipes sheets? No. Well, it's not going to come to an end, but it's nice to have green peppers. Now, just a little side note. There's a lot of information out there, and it's not always good information, and I hate to even talk to the information stuff about things. Some people will go around saying, you shouldn't eat green bell pepper because it's not ripe. It's like, are you crazy? As humans, we eat a lot of unripe food that's still nutritious. Think green tomatoes, think underripe bananas. Those are foods that are lower in sugar, and we seek them out for whatever reason, and bell peppers are one of them. They're just not as sweet. They have a different flavor profile. So go eat your underripe foods. And then what else? Oh, celery, because celery, as I mentioned to the gentleman in the back there, celery is a natural salt replacement, right? So just add more celery. It's good for your heart. It's good for a lot of things. And why not? Try to get the organic, but not going to stress on that. And then what else do we have? Oh, the carrots. Eat them. They come in a variety of colors, different, phytonutrients. Once again, the carrots go in whole into the slow cooker. Whole, washed whole, just dump them in there. I don't skin my carrots. Why would I want to skin them? I wouldn't want to skin the carrots any more than I would want to skin the organic potatoes. The nutrition is right underneath that little veggie. You don't want to be taking it out. Why take it out? You got the fiber, you got all the goodness right there. Leave the skin on your vegetables. That's all I got to say there. And then what else? Oh, let's get these all. Oh, my bowl's magically reappeared. I can start putting it in a little bowl here. We're just about ready to wrap it up. What, have I been talking for a half hour straight? Woo. All right, let's go there. Potatoes, carrots. And also, this is one other key to how I prepare and navigate through life. It's not the best, but it's what works for me. And that is procure your food, your fresh food, maybe during one day of the week. You come home and you unload it and you prep it to the best of your ability that you can for the upcoming week. That way you don't have any excuses. You're not too tired to cook and have to get pizza, that wonderful Paxti's pizza, ordered out. You can have it all there ready for you. And like with all the vegetables here, you see how some interrelate. You can make a lot of different vegetables with just some core preparation ahead of time. So here I've just added to all the bowls, all the vegetables we've already discussed. And then here we're getting down to the nitty-gritty stuff. Oh, there's that Bragg's again. And Bragg's, I think what I've done here for the Bragg's, I put it in with the peanut butter and a little bit of liquid smoke. Some people kind of have curious points on that. Like, what is that stuff? Do I really want to be eating it? It's just the wood burn, scrape it off the walls, put it in a water preparation, that's it. Also, what I have is a little device. It's kind of it's a cold smoke. It's called a smoking gun. Any of you guys know what a smoking gun is? I know it sounds bizarre. The gentleman in the back does. They're just a nifty little device you can impart flavor to, and that's what I try to do here. So I have some of that smoke in there. And what else? Ooh, my favorite, garlic. So when I talk garlic, I talk cloves. But in my home, I can't run out of garlic because it's an antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral food. If you want to make it through the winter, eat your garlic. It'll be much easier for you. So what we want to do is just blend this up because, yes, it'll probably get a little melty in your cooking in your slow cooker or on top of the stove, but it just makes it easier with a blender if you have one. So there are those three ingredients. Oh, and back to garlic. Now, I think I say in my recipe sheet to use pressed garlic. You folks familiar with the little pressing machine that you put in there? Mine's over 20 years old. I love it. It's the only one that I've never broken. I love it. But these days, I don't use it so much if I'm making a sauce because you know why? You just take that garlic clove. Don't bother to peel it. There's no reason to. Once again, did I get an amen there? Yeah. So yeah, why not just put it in whole? It will blend. It will be okay. And you'll be happier for it without getting your hands all stinky and another little impediment to getting your dinner on the table. So there you go. Put this in. Let's do this machine thing again. So brace your ears. I'm going to have to add some water to it. Oh, broth. That's why it's not blending up. Oh, back to the broth. So if you don't have homemade broth, because really, we'll just let that go. Well, try to. Okay, so if you don't have homemade broth, what do? Because really you don't want to rely on store-bought broths because it's a processed who knows what of vegetables. You really don't. And if anything's a guaranteed in that broth, it's too salty, or it's too fatty, or something. Why? There are some foundational elements you want to keep in your pantry so you can always have your homemade veggie broth. And that would be number one, nutritional yeast. Are you folks familiar with nutritional yeast? That's what a lot of those broths really contain, is that elemental nutritional yeast. So keep a little bit of nutritional yeast, your favorite seasoning or herb, whatever that might be, to create the dish you desire. For this dish, I used just a veggie blend of provincial herbs. That's just one of my favorites. And then if you combine those together with water, you get your own homemade veggie broth and success, right? And happiness, because it's easier on the pocketbook. So let's take a look here. Let's see what came out. This is a little thin, but that's okay, because it's going to thicken upon heating. And like I say, it's always better to start out too thick than too thin. However, if the sauce is too thin for your desire, this is something also I like to keep in my pantry, and I believe I featured this last year. This is a dehydrated peanut butter. It's like, what? Why? Because a lot of, well, let's just say it. I believe it's 90% pure protein without the associated fat. And what I like is you can easily take it in, or you can use it as a thickener in a way that regular peanut butter would. And plus, then it's not as prone to rancidity because it's already been dehydrated and the fat has been mostly removed. So we have a pure peanut product here. I'm just going to add a little bit. And it's just a good sprinkle if you like to do smoothies or whatever types of sauces. I like to keep some of that. So then we just mix it up and we put it back either on a pot or in your slow cooker. And then you have happiness in your house because you have a nice dinner for winter time. So with that said, I am Patricia. If you have any questions, please see me or at the table outside. And I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you. All right, now, what I do have some of these, like, I'm not going to take this home. If anyone wants to take home that sauce, they're welcome to it. There you go. You're welcome. I also have this is like a $10 jar of this apple stuff if anyone wants to take it home. What do you want? Which one? There you go. You're welcome.